Imagine a priceless piece of porcelain. It's beautiful, intricate, and holds generations of value. Now, imagine it slips from your hands and shatters into jagged pieces on the floor. When we break someone's trust, our first instinct is usually to say, "I'm sorry." But emotionally, offering a standard verbal apology is like trying to put those porcelain shards back together with clear plastic tape. It might hold for a moment, but it looks terrible and does nothing to fix the actual damage. A linguistic connection in Mandarin captures this. The word for apologizing sounds exactly like the phrase for owing a debt. When we apologize, we are acknowledging that we owe the other person something. But acknowledging a bill is different from actually paying it. If you admit that you broke the vase, but never do the work to repair it, the person you hurt is left with the mess. They're forced to sweep up the pieces and absorb the loss of what was lost. This is why hearing a quick "I'm sorry" often generates more anger than healing. The person who caused the harm walks away feeling cleared of their guilt, while the victim is left paying the emotional price for a mistake they didn't make. If we try to ignore the damage and carry on as if the break never happened, the relationship stays fragile. New trust growing over hidden cracks will collapse under pressure. Repairing the gap requires one party to voluntarily drop their right to get even. They choose to absorb the pain of the offense rather than passing it back. True restitution involves filling the cracks with something costly. In the art of kintsugi, a broken object is repaired using molten gold. You use something precious to bind the pieces back together. When you offer tangible value to make things right, when you pay the debt on behalf of the person you hurt, you give the bond back its strength. True forgiveness leaves history intact while creating a costly transaction. The debt is paid in full, and the structure of the relationship is changed by the effort put into the repair. You can see this process in nature. Think of a seed pod buried in the dark, frozen mud of winter. The outer shell has to decay and die in the cold for a new green shoot to push its way upward. Repairing trust requires a similar kind of endurance. A traditional way of making amends centers on the act of accompanying the victim. This means staying present with them through the aftermath of the harm you caused. In practice, this means offering concrete sacrifices, spend time in difficult conversations, offer financial compensation, or perform consistent acts of service. These tangible actions prove the commitment that words alone cannot. This sacrifice acts as a catalyst. It breaks the cycle of resentment and shows them you are willing to bear the weight of the repair with them. Enduring the consequences of your mistake is the mechanism that allows a stronger relationship to grow out of what looked like a dead end. While the past cannot be changed, actively paying the cost of your actions reshapes what the future can look like. Think of one relationship in your own life where you owe an unpaid debt. Perhaps you apologized, but you haven't yet done the work to make it right. Before the end of this week, take one physical step toward that person. Ask for a face-to-face meeting, help them with a difficult task, or offer an act of service. This small action is the first brick laid in the reconstruction. It proves you are taking ownership of the repair. Taking ownership of that cost transforms the ruins of a broken relationship into the foundation for a connection that can actually last.